60 Minutes, Rewind.
This is the result when guts, discipline, talent, and beauty all combine in one happy accident. Denyce Graves. She's not merely the opera world's newest darling, she is genuinely a woman of substance, who, with the help of two strong, determined women, her mother and her teacher, pulled herself out of a despairing inner-city neighborhood and now strides the world's stages as if she owned them. Apart from her voice, it was her story that attracted our attention. Last fall, we joined her at perhaps the most important moment of her life, her debut in New York at the Metropolitan Opera. Do you know what I find remarkable? I have to tell you this.
Tell me.
That you let us in here minutes before you're going on to make your Metropolitan Opera House debut.
Oh, God, now I just got nervous.
Well, no, you didn't get nervous. You gotta have ice cubes in your veins.
On the opposite, I feel really hot on the inside, and I'm trying to stay as calm as possible. I mean, I have to. I can't afford to let myself be excited.
A night at the opera. Any debut at the Met is an occasion. For Denyce's family and friends, the 75 people who came by bus and train from Washington, D.C., this debut was a night to remember.
And I wanted things
especially for her mother, Dorothy, who taught her three kids to dream beyond the street where they lived.
Jesse Jackson said, you know, you can live in the slum, but the ghetto does not have to be in you. And I knew I had to develop that for my children.
Did you think she would be here on a night like this with her name up in lights?
I think I did, but I'm not sure if I thought about it to this magnitude.
The road to the Met started with a little girl in front of a mirror holding a hairbrush as a microphone. It ended here. The reviews the next morning were spectacular. An already brilliant young artist had aced her most difficult test. At age 30, she is the world's favorite Carmen, who routinely plays opposite the three tenors, Pavarotti, Domingo, and Carreras in companies all over the world. Hard to believe, just 15 years ago, her mother had to push her on stage to sing a church solo.
We'd be there in front of everybody at the church, and we'd have this little conversation going on. I don't want to do it. No, you go do it. Why can't Deborah do it? No, I don't want to do it. You go do it. And everybody's clapping and looking at you and waiting and say, come on, sweetheart, come on. Praise God, sing, you know?
This is where she grew up, Southwest D.C. Guns made the music of the street, drugs were the currency, and the violence was not operatic. Survival came from the discipline imposed by a determined mother. Her father left when Denyce was just a baby. There was little money, but plenty of rules.
In addition to our schoolwork and our chores, we had, for every night of the week was designated a certain day. And Monday, for example, was book report night. She'd call and say, okay, this is what you have to do. And I want this ready by the time I get home.
She was a very demanding woman.
Yeah, absolutely.
Was it the same in every house on the street where you lived?
No, not at all. You know, the kids were sort of running around into the streets early in the morning, late at night.
Were you ever tempted to become one of those kids?
No. I was saved. You know why? Because I was an oddball. I was already not accepted among my peers, so I didn't have that pressure.
They called you Hollywood, right?
They did.
Why?
I don't know.
Do you like it?
No.
Was it justified? Did you have a bit of a superiority complex?
I don't think so. However, my mother used to tell us, you know, that we were special children, that we were blessed, that we were touched by God. I believed that.
When you were growing up, did you see your father at all?
No.
Then, at her younger sister's high school graduation, the family was outside taking pictures when her mother saw an older man coming towards them.
She says, "Oh my God, oh my God." We said, "What?" "You see this man walking towards you here?" "Yeah, that's your father." "What? That's my father? That's our father? That's our father? Oh my God!" You know, he embraced my brother and my sister.
Did he embrace you?
He came to embrace me and I said, "Just wait a minute." I said, "Please don't do that." Because I hardly think that this is the welcome wagon here. But I just thought...
That's a tough thing to do.
Well, I resented it in all of those years without him. I mean, we really watched my mom struggle.
Oh, I'm so happy you came. I am happy you came.
There was also a kind of fairy godmother. Her music teacher, Judith Grove, saw some magic in a 10-year-old. She encouraged, cajoled, and finally raised money to keep her in the New England Conservatory.
You were wonderful.
Well, you spotted something in this kid when she was just tiny.
Yes, her attitude.
It was that attitude and a heap of talent that got Denyce accepted at age 14 to D.C.'s Duke Ellington School of the Arts.
Okay, let's get to work. I'm ready. That's right.
A public high school for gifted inner-city kids. And that attitude includes returning to Duke Ellington to teach and to witness and to inspire. Can kids, other kids in this school, out of this school, learn from her example about what to do with their lives?
Yes. Denyce worked very hard. She didn't wait for a gravy train. Sure, there were moments of when she was discouraged, but in the end, she still had her eye on the prize.
And you know what? You can use your body, you can use your hands.
To students at Duke Ellington, Denyce Graves is a legend. Her struggle to work her way through college, the jobs as waitress, donut maker, switchboard operator, never giving up on herself or her music.
She has character. She is a woman of substance.
It went up better. It came down a little. Okay, I just want to try again.
Her coach and critic is her husband, 46-year-old musician David Perry. They were married 5 years ago. To some, they seem like an unlikely couple. He's older. He's shorter.
A lot older.
He's shorter. Does it take a particular kind of man to live in the shadow of a wife like you?
Well, I don't. My husband's hardly in the shadows. That's the first thing.
We have two panini.
He's perfect for me. He's exactly the man that I need to have in my life.
That is most evident when she is on the road, here in Verona to perform in Italy's top music festival.
Okay. How you doing?
Okay, I gotta warm up. My voice is a little down.
They have a rule. If she's away for more than 10 days, he leaves their home in Virginia and joins her on the road.
Be really sweet to me.
He is witness to a diva's most difficult moment, when she is ready to go, but the voice isn't.
Come on, darling. Come on, sweetheart. Wake up for Denyce.
When you were in Verona, we found you talking to your voice.
Because she has a mind of her own, and sometimes we fight. You know, she won't listen to me.
The story will continue after this.
It is places like Verona that must make Denyce Graves and her voice occasionally pinch themselves. A neighborhood, at least on these perfect summer afternoons, in which the most important question of the moment is, will the tenor fall flat on his face? Where the phrase, a long hot summer, carries no menace at all. And where, in the evening, everyone falls in love with that cigarette girl from Seville. When Carmen walks on that stage, she takes the stage. She controls it.
She has to. This is one character where you cannot be shy. You know, it's one thing to be in the bathroom with the hairbrush. You know, it's another thing to be in front of 25,000 people.
Right now, Denyce Graves is booked up into the 21st century. And between the operas and even more lucrative concerts, she's become, just in this last year or so, a very rich woman, who's also become very much at home in all those expensive European shops, so expert at sharing your wealth. How important is the money, Denyce?
It's important. I think so.
Are you being cautious or are you being spendthrift?
Both.
When did Price Club start selling pianos?
She may blow the works in Europe, but back home, closer to her roots in Southwest D.C., it's bargains and bulk buying at the Price Club.
We made a mistake by coming at lunchtime. Hungry.
One of the things that all opera singers, men and women, have to fight is...
I know what you're going to say.
What am I going to say? Exactly.
Well, you know, I know that we have that ugly stereotype that all opera singers are 3,000 pounds, you know, and the women have those blonde braids with the boob plates and all that stuff. But in fact, the face of opera has changed tremendously.
The face may have changed, but the waist hasn't changed.
The waist has changed as well, especially as the field has become more populated. We're not allowed to just let ourselves go. A lot of things just aren't flying anymore. You know, we're not able to just, you know, stand at the proscenium march and sing. You really have to act now.
The Lady in Red. The Lady in Red in her other life, back home, back at Faith Bible Baptist Church with her nieces and nephews, back where it all began. Born in the USA, she never recorded it, she lived it.
And that's the wonderful thing about this country that we live in, that you can actually come from very, very little and aspire for something great and achieve that.